Hey, how you guys doing today? It's Wednesday, the 18th, 3 o'clock. Yep, March 18th, 3 o'clock. Just gotta check my phone that I'm using. Yeah, technology's so great. Technology's so great. Anyways, so earlier this week or late last week, like Friday or something like that, I decided to play the game Find the Smell. I got a house full of cats. Eh. So, with that said, I found the smell and it led to my collector's room. That kind of was initially, I changed it to an office last year so I can write a book and organize some thoughts and, look outside the window. See, outside the window. And, check out my beautiful backyard. You can kind of see all that kind of shit. So, yep, that's my wall. I mean, look how awesome that is. You got my little, got my whatevers right there. But check, you know what? And I initially wanted to, sit down, in the middle of the room right here. I have my desk, or it's more like my coffee table. Just kind of give you an idea, something like that. But the funny thing is, whenever I sit down, facing, this way, checking that shit out and checking that shit out. Now, granted, this is clean. It's halfway through the week, I found the smell. It took me. I mean, granted, I was only working on it a few minutes at a time, but I found the puddle that made the smell. I'm not kidding. Puddle. It was on a vacuum bag. Anyway, so it seems like a good time to strut my shit. So, here's my collection of those popple things. You got Lucifer right there. Check out the wings. Oh, look at that. We got Hannibal to start, getting there. Then we got a Beetlejuice. And then a Beetlejuice. And then a Beetlejuice. Look at that. Then we got the Beetlejuice Chase. Look at that. He's all dressed, decked out. And then, of course, we got the Hannibal. Check that shit out. Well, what's cool about that, he's already wearing the piggy face. So, and then we got the Carnage, and that's a certificate of authenticity. That's autographed and stuff. We got the Phoenix. Love her. She's like my favorite at all time. And we got Gaia. Yep, look at that. We got Gaia with an I. That's how you guys spell it. I spell mine with a Y. My company's name is Gaia's Empowerment Center, Gay, for photon, the physics symbol. And we got the Two-Face, the exclusive. Look at that. Then we got the Joker, King Joker exclusive. Look at that. Oh my goodness. And for your numbers reference, whatevers. There you go. And then we got that one. Check that. Oh. Look at that. We got the Human Torch with the Human Torch on it. And then we got Magneto. Oh, the exclusive. Yes. He actually signed it. It was like a $50 thing. So he's like, I'm like, what do you want me to put on it? I'm like, what are your top favorites? He lists a couple off. And he's like, I like to me my X-Men. So that's the real actor of the 94 or whatever, 97 X-Men. So that dude, yeah, so excited. Cool thing is that my local comic book store actually has these people there. As regular employees type stuff. So you can go over there and go get an autograph or a drawing or whatever on one of these little things. And I love these things. When I was a kid, it was action figures. You know what I mean? It was always action figures. I mean, you can't really doodle on this without destroying it or, like anything like this. I mean, it's kind of hard to doodle. I don't know. I mean, obviously no one could. And you have to hang them on the wall. I mean, but these, you can stack the crap out of them. Especially when you have a Beetlejuice joke. And I can't find them. So, anyways, this is my collector's room. And we got, check this out. Can you guess who that is? That's number 7. John Elway. So this is my collector's room. My comic books and my comic book cards and stuff like that are, well, I said I was cleaning, so this is kind of where they're at. You know, that's some of them. Kind of give you an idea. Those are that's a box. Those are some more boxes. Let's see. For my birthday, I went nuts on Pixar, so I got like 3 of them. You know, boxes, more boxes. So, I mean, these ones are, I mean, you pay about $100 or so, and it's like a pack, a box. So you get like 5, 6 cards, but they're all awesome, and some of them are encased. So, but the cool thing is, I got this. The reason why this one's empty, because it's going to be full later this week. It says 10. You literally could fit 20 in there. I know because my other one's packed. And I'm getting 18 this week. It's Thursday. It's expected to come in today's Wednesday. Expecting it to see it Thursday or Friday. And I'm going to have a few one-of-ones in there, some limited editions. I mean, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. I got about 18 cards coming in. I went through GameStop and using their PSA, thing. This was back halfway through December. So right before the holiday season, so go figure, But hey, birthday present, Christmas present, whatever. My birthday was a couple weeks ago, end of February. So anyways, back to what I'm getting at. So, needless to say, I did find the smell. It was, realize I had all that. Okay, so, here's my trophy. One of my trophies. This is from the strangest, off-the-wall thing you could possibly think of. I got this when I was a kid, like toddler, like up to your knee. I mean, like literally, like it's up to, like there's my knee and I'm on my toe. So here, how about that? It's literally up to my, whatever. It's big. Now, when I moved to Montana at 93, I talked to my mom and I'm like, what's up with this trophy that I keep talking about? This thing's bigger than me when I got it. Well, I'm not sure if you can see it, but Royal Toddler winner. Royal Toddler. She signed me up for one of those little dancing babies on the stage things. The ones where usually the mother-daughter preppy snobby cat fight mother truckers, So she's telling me the story how she dressed me up like a sailor like a sailor baby or whatever, with a white hat and the white whatever, and how I just sung and danced and just stole the show. Obviously, it says winner, not third place, not second place, but winner. And this trophy's freaking big, So, needless to say, I had to redeem myself. So my stepdad, we're in Montana, go over at the Y, learning, they had a swimming pool, so taking swimming lessons, and they also had Taekwondo. And, I'm a competitive type. I mean, if that's the only fond memory of my mom, is her telling me a story on how I got a trophy, and it's a beauty pageant, like, are you kidding me? I must have died laughing listening to the bitches be bitches. That's all I can say. So, needless to say, I entered a competition, the state city or whatever, state championship, and got that. I entered a few other contests. So that's 93. I was 80. I'm born in 83. Kind of give you an idea. So my stepdad and I, do watching those karate movies that were coming out throughout the 90s. Awesome, So anyways, so this is getting kind of long, but here's the gist of it. So I already know, I don't care about what I look like because it's already been verified. I know I'm skilled because it's verified. And that's before boarding school. A couple months after getting that trophy, my mom dropped me off at boarding school on the way to take my brother. On the way to take my brothers to Disneyland. I know, because a couple weeks later, or a month or so later, she sent me photos of them in Disneyland, enjoying themselves. on bumper rides in Toontown or something like that. So looked at a couple of those pictures, and handed it back to my therapist and blacked out after that. Luckily, I was already in a boarding school, so it didn't matter. Anyways, so since I'm in the middle of cleaning up some of my other activities, but I want to say something. Let me get the light on this. I know it's 11 minutes and I'm just kind of babbling, but I love my country. Like the fight, fight, fight. Like I had literally, this was the reason why it's sun faded, because it was outside of my front yard for my neighbors to kind of appreciate, and pigs were gathering around I don't know, like leeches in stagnant pond water. Anyways, what's the point of fear and safety talk from people who are armed to the teeth, but with enough body armor and ideology of a Star Wars stormtrooper? So I'm guessing you're only following orders 626. Wahahaha. I'm talking, the photo radar argument type shit, and then the growth of the homeless population within 2 miles of where I live. Can you guys reduce your extortion tactics by 30%? Please? And stop mocking the Constitution. I've talked to sheriff's department for just over the years, as I'm living my life, they pop up and one thing or another. I'm just, whatever. And I'm like, hey, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, well, and they just nonchalantly just wipe their vag on the flag. Like they're so superior, as if our country's already collapsed. It's as if it's a police state. So, like, we've already been socialized. Anyways, so why not fight back and protest, the photo radar things that have been popping up in my neighborhood? Flood them with flood the radar system with 3 to 15 car strobe light effect. Like get you and your buddies. You see one of those flashlight things that are, at the stoplights, or they'll just make, there's a box that says the police, this is police photo enforcement, go blow your monkeys type shit. These are the people that are going for the tampons in the boys' bathroom. These are the people that left like I'm in Arizona. These are the people that left the border open for these people to come in. And then just not even give a shit. And the people that even the police that are like some of my so-called friends, I talk to them, they are completely dismissive of the population, of the citizens, and they're only focused on putting them back outside. So I it's amazing. It's an absolute embarrassment that people worship police. You don't respect our country at all. Nobody does. That's why there's 80% with the government vaccine. Like, you guys worship government because you can't think for yourself. So it's one defies the other. And it's been this way for decades. How many government worship movies are there? Let's say Bad Boys. With the dude that slapped the other guy on stage. Because he was talking, because he doesn't know how to handle how to be a man. I mean, well, but does your wife wear the dick? Anyways, so back to what I'm saying. So the photo radar thing, basically, you and your buddies or your family or whatever get in the cars. When you see these when you see these photo radar things, flash them. Just go by, and if you get enough people, in all 3 of those lanes, because they're going to be at the intersection of major streets here in Arizona, Tempe. There's a lot that popped up. I mean, I've been battling the police for a while. It started over financial financial automotive extortion. My car is paid off. And I've been recovering from a business failure. So, go fuck yourself. Anyways, so with all the photo radars, that's what I'm thinking. Blast him. It's peaceful. And if you have 3 rows of cars that are like 4 or 5 rows deep, because some of the intersections are 3 lanes. And if you have 3 or 4 cars deep, that's 9, 12, and 15. All getting flashed multiple times. Do that a few times. Organize it. It's peaceful. It shuts them up. And you know what? I already know that I have a $1 million hit on my head. I don't care. All right? You've seen my collection. You've seen my skills. When I party, let's party. I want my country back. I don't fly the flag upside down. Ever. Anyways, let's go back to the thing. So, that's my thoughts on that. And this is, that should cause, something. And, I mean, it's been kind of, like I said, it was been out, during the what the fuck years. It's only been a few things. And they're popping up with more reasons. Remember, light show. Not hold my beer and crash into stuff. Okay? So kind of organize it if you guys want to take this challenge. Do it several times. Have fun with it. If you see 12 of them or whatever, you can map it all out. Do it. What's the difference between accountability and conspiracy theory? Now I have that logo right there. I mean, you can kind of barely see. So, the pursuit, so accountability versus conspiracy theory. What's the difference? The attributes of our country is the pursuit of happiness and the freedom to challenge one's own fears to do the impossible. Now, impossible is spelled I am possible. See, there it is. There it's broken down to. Why not embrace your rock star power? Sponsored by Gaia's. Remember what I said about the why? You know what I mean? See, remember what I said about the why? Yeah, that's Captain Planet. And you see Steve Irwin right there, don't you? See, Steve Irwin. And he's holding a turtle. I work with turtles. Well, I did for aquaponics. But you see how Gaia's Empowerment Center, LLC, and how this was, 5 months ago, 6 months ago? That's why it was faded, because it was in my front yard. There's my logo. Website should be up soon enough, probably in the next week or so. I'm still working out the bugs and organizing the business plan. And some big investors have been peeking into me. And I'm kind of the Michael Jordan of my industry. And I'm not looking for a shoe contract either. So, with that said, check out this photo that I took in Africa. Look at that. We got the 2 rhinos, a wildebeest, 2 warhogs, and a bird, and the bird that was in Lion King. And a watering hole. I mean, check that out. You got all that. It's a literal picture. I mean, 2 rhinos. Oh, I mean, look at that. How much biodiversity can you get? With love and support, I'm Clinton, Clint Star, and Brave New World.